and especially thank you very much to the consultant team who working hard within a short time of period of 5 months, but can receive a lot of production that we can see in the next few minutes. And this morning I don't plan to do any introduction to the project staff, but we have the participation from the representative of AMIF, the Chief of Office and the Deputy Chief of Office of AMIF. And we have Raza, who is the leader of the fact-finding division of the ADB. We have the representatives
that are outside gravity. One can see that, and it turned out to be outside gravity by about 2 meters. Number 3 are 2 big breaches in the canal, and that originate by drainage pressure, flash flood pressure from the right side. I will show the photos. And that the right embankment is broken over 2 and 1 kilometer. Number 4 is the recently developed area of by Kapmark Os is very large. Later on you will see in comparison to Prechik, which has a very narrow. So then you go back to the 2 reservoirs, water availability, and this will be shown. Water availability to Tankersan is very high. It is perhaps one of the most water-rich areas in Cambodia that can go under irrigation, and I will show the data for that. That will clearly, by looking at that, will show you that that is the case. Tankersan, Stoomchinik together linked are good for 2 crops per year, which they achieve in Stoomchinik. Last time we spoke with the Fook of the Farmer Water User Community in Stoomchinik. They were cropping 2.2 for a year, so they are doing well, and there is still water left for fish farms, etc. And that is on the point 2 is on the upper part, with which they will run sprinkler systems and are digging for that purpose. And you will see the photo, canals into the reservoir upstream of the regulator. Here you see that this is one of these canals we visited. Here is one of these Chinese managers running that. This is 100 hectares that they are, and they were planning to expand to 200 hectares. And so, and here then where the cursor is the pump, and they were running trials at that time when we visited and discussed it. This is Mr. Jan2 forgive me, but here we found out, in talking to these people, what had happened in the last 6-7 years, and how did it come that this was purchased from them. Here you see us, 2 of our team, on March 10, talking to 17 community leaders. We have made this map, and I wrote it down. We asked them 36 questions, and I still have the answers on what, and I gave them one question that I asked them: do you think that we took this picture? These people have been consulted and informed, and they have given us their opinion. So I'm not talking on my personal opinion or our team opinion, but this is their opinion, what they have given. I have the story of their answers is available. So then we went back, and then as you can see from this one, this was in the green area, but then we went to the blue area, which is here, and we know from our topographic longitudinal survey the elevations here, and the highest water level here, which is 16.24 meters above mean sea level. And what if we then would really rehabilitate this canal and would operate it all the way? What would be the water level sheds and the machinery and equipment from which they operate, and from which here the red arrow is from where they take water. This here is the canal. Here are the breaches. So the location here is before the breaches, and here is the regulator. So that regulator broke, but they repaired it on their own. And so when that is closed, it's kind of inefficient, but they can fill up the canal and take water in an arrangement with Speedy Ran. So we're concerned there's a high ground of people, and that is shown here. We ran a survey from this point. You will see it in a minute. These are the headworks which have been abandoned in use. They are broken, the gates were moved. But these are now, this is like a small stilling basin. This is a spillway, which we need to raise by 1 meter to 1.5 meters. This is a manual and an automatic gate, which we propose to become 2 manual gates. And this is then the small stilling basin of water receiving from the Mungurusai River. And then here it goes, this is the main regulator into the Ritchie Canal, and that is not used. It has never been used for irrigation, and you will see soon why. This is the canal. It's there. It's bang. Got it. Doesn't move. Stable. If we then look at where does this canal run, we want to know the communes. There is very little area to the right that can be irrigated, that is much less than 10%, because it is also sloping down. So it's we have consulted them and identified with the communes and the PDRAM and district officers in the commune concerned already as early as February 11th. What are your problems? And Greenwich became immediately, because they couldn't say we have irrigation problems because they had no irrigation, but the Greenwich issue was immediately identified and included. That brings us to Basak Reservoir, the potential source of irrigation water, and also a potential source of flood problem. Still today we have 3 gates missing. Why they have been taken out, the story is very depending on who you interview, but the fact is they are not there. Information from Mrs. Jan2 has indicated that they will start to be repaired by September of this year and should be ready by March next year, if I correct Mrs. Jan2. So again, as in Tankersan, we have looked at what is needed in additional purpose, power, water supply, dam site 6 kilometers upstream of Basak Reservoir, that would have a storage if built at 50 meter high of 132 million cubic meters, if on multi-purpose conditions, but area to a later date. 3 years, 4 years down the road, to see what happens with water supply if Basak and Jan2 is built, how that operates. The hydrological data are insufficient to take a decision to build it all between 29 villages along the main canal of Gunung Agung on Bali, and the Subaks, where they have the right to tell fellow water users, you are wasting water. Why? Human factors of why irrigation efficiency goes easily below 20% is to allow over-irrigation, not police an outflow into drains, not having internal capture, not adhering to agreement of water release from reservoir, going easy on enforcement of PFIs, poor record keeping of inflow versus area house, need to know the water. My observation personally of my 40 years of running around, discipline and leakage of voices, you find that in where those systems have 60% plus efficiency, the Rhône and Durance in the south of France, in Spain, in Israel, in California, in parts of Colorado, you find that, maybe even in many other ways. So now I come to the internal rate of return. If we go to the base scenarios, for Tankersan it's 19%, and then we do sensitivity on several and variations, and we have done that 10%, and you see here, and you see that the 19%, which then includes to do it all, and the drainage works, not vegetables. Okay, there is some financial sustainability. ISF payments are presently based on what the Stubchinit is doing, which is $15 or calculated $14. So there is a discrepancy which need to be discussed, and budget provisions are required. Requirement law, man, again, a big write-up. MEF has a role of in our financial sustainability write-up of being a key agency to provide budget requirement for all and make rheology, and we have spelled out the requirements for additional stations. This is only the map which you need. We have the where rainfall and hydro telemetry is required. It is described in the hydrology report. Key socioeconomic indicators. In the areas that we have identified in both these scenarios, we have 1 district, 2 district, 4 communes, 19 villages, 13. Presently potentially ready, 1,200 hectares in cover. Population is about 40,000, 48,000. Females are 51, 52%. Total households, we know, farm families. Average land holding is smaller in Tankasan as compared to Prichik. But both are heavily depending, and that is no surprise to me because I worked for 6 years on microcredit in Indonesia on 80,000 microcredit groups, and the best repayers of microcredit back to the government were the women. If men would take a loan, it most likely would falter. If women would take a loan microcredit, they often would pay back. That's my experience in microcredit, and it might be the same in irrigation. Okay, key assumption is, and I discussed that with the Ministry of Agriculture, and we've discussed it with the Ministry of Agriculture, is that we need the Ministry of Agriculture and Mr. Jan2 subgroups to plant maybe 20, 35 hectares more. I'm getting there. 12, training modules. One of the best people I've met in my career sits behind me, Great Ignacio, worked with her in 1985. She worked for me for 4 years in Indonesia in ISF, and then worked for me in Romania for 2 years, and now she worked for me here. And in Indonesia we gave her 4 years, here we gave her 4 weeks, but she's done the job fantastically. She has developed training models for these and described them, and as Grace is, when she does that elaborately, so it's available. Cropping calendar. Here's my point I make. Rather than to have the green line that starts here in May and then runs all the way into November and May end in January and only 1 crop, if you do it right, 2 green lines here, 2 green bars with preparation, blend soaking, whatever, all included, worked out in order to have 90 to 100 day variety seeds. And use these various numbers in the economic analysis variations of if you have 3.5 and 4.2 after 7 years, or if you even would then go to 5.1 in Tankosan and 6.1 tons per hectare in Great Chick, what that will do. And our base scenario is based on with support project will be at 7, so 3.5 and 4.2 tons per hectare, the rest of it. So that slide 11, slide 10, net profit for crops per hectare in US dollars and water per. If we look at the crop water requirements are much less, certainly in this group here. Profitability is high for these crops if you link these together. So vegetables is definitely, as Mr. Raza anticipated very well, vegetables is a let's go veggies here. This almost conservative approach to if you give them water and the temperature increase in the dry season. So that goes up by 30. Cash crop water requirements also goes up, also by 35%, but it's still less than rice, and less than rice in the dry season.